I don't know where I was going with that. Point is, Underdog and Optic definitely had a big one over Team Liquid. I don't think the same thing will happen here. Evil Geniuses, they look poised to fight for the #1 spot in the world right now, man. They have a great head-to-head matchup against Astralis. Liquid's fading. They had a big victory in New York. They've always been kind of hovering in the top 4 with, many different top 4 finishes at tournaments. And now they have a big title under their belts with a New York victory, multiple series wins over Astralis. We're on Nuke, a map they've won the last 6 times in a row. They've played it on land. They obviously use it to great effect in New York in the grand finals against Astralis, and also won it a couple times in the group stage against FaZe and G2. So, yeah, they're coming into this hot to trot. Meanwhile, Grayhound obviously had a roster change. They've lost their, I think, Aircast. I don't know if he was in-game leading or not, but I know he had a history of it. And they lost him, and now they've brought in Ends. So they have a roster change coming into this. The only thing they've really played since Ends joined was the qualifier for this tournament. So, yeah, not a whole lot under their belts with the new lineup.
Yeah, I think Urcast says he was leaving to, was it spend more time with his family or something? I can't quite remember the tweet he made. If I'm not
mistaken.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Because he was a student whenever he was living there to play with that team, but then obviously that's gone now, so...
Right.
Yeah, but now he's on like a Mongolian team, if I'm not mistaken, so...
Yeah. So I think it was kind of like his decision, or maybe just a lot of background stuff, unfortunately. But, I mean, Greyhound, definitely, as you said, they're the underdogs coming into this game. I suppose the same... I don't want to call it an excuse because it is pretty like a legit reason. The travel time has been very rough for all of these teams that were at New York.
Yeah.
But EG is definitely front and center. Yeah, I mean, they went the distance. So we'll have to see if they can come out swinging.
They literally got to celebrate for about 5 minutes that they won New York, and then they're on their way to the airport. So apparently they almost missed their flight, which would have been rather tragic. But they did make it here. Looking, again, really, really good. Definitely have a lot of skilled players. They have very similar strengths to Liquid in that way, or at least the Liquid before the player break. They have several skilled players who can not only play solo roles, but also do entry work. They can be very explosive in your face. They have very good trade fragging capabilities because their skill ceiling is so high. They have a very deep map pool. They have a great style of being able to play slow when they need to, but being able to just gather up as 5 and just, trade frag their way into something. Swarm and trade kind of style, can be very aggressive when they need to be. Breezy looks like one of the top 5 players in the world right now. Cirque is really, really looking excellent with the AWP. That's the one factor that they have that Liquid doesn't, is that X Factor Opera and Cirque. Obviously a very capable in-game leader in Stansall who could also frag pretty well. Tarek kind of reminds me of 2E2K in many ways, but performing better. And yeah, I mean, they are, again, poised to maybe become the #1 team in the world, depending on how things go with Astralis. And if Liquid can ever recover.
So, I mean, you waxed lyrical there about how great EG have been. Are there any positives that we can look across to Greyhound? Is there anything that you'd like to highlight with these guys?
I mean, they do well within their region, I can say that, and they even did really well at the Asian Minor. They beat Tyloo and actually won that event, which is something that they had never really been able to do before, so that's good. But when they've been at the big international events, we haven't really seen so much. Like, they had a couple of victories at the Challenger stage of the Starlighter Major, but still didn't make it that far at the tournament. When you've seen them play at like EPL finals and stuff in the past, they've never done particularly well. So they're kind of similar to Tyloo in that regard. They can play really well within their region and maybe occasionally have like a cool upset. Like I remember they beat FaZe at Sydney, if I'm not mistaken, in a best-of-3 with their former lineup. But other than that, they typically don't do too well in these big international tournaments. Usually going to exit in the group stages. So it's going to be tough to see them do much against a powerhouse like EG.
Guess the pressure might be off, and a best-of-1 can always throw in a few twists. Breezy, the MVP from New York, Glock in hand, whiffing a lot of bullets, but hasn't been punished because Inns, in the meanwhile, has missed a lot of his too, but now Dick Stacy relocating to the back. There's Breeze with 2 headshots in quick succession. Oh my goodness, there we go. He had a couple of missed shots earlier, but he's made amends for it and then some. And now Dexter has to walk over all the carnage of the vending machine room with his USP and see if he can maybe carve out some heads. Only the one flashbang to his name. There's no kit in sight. Checking all the angles. Squeaky at least is open, so he doesn't have to make the sound cue of traipsing through there. Flashbang in. Headshot instantly to Tarek, who gets close-lined, and Breeze has missed a couple of shots in the meanwhile. Gonna tickle the bomb. Try and drop these terrorists into confrontation. They know he's no longer on the site, but they're gonna face him one by one. They just need to waste the time at this point. Stanislaw is doing what he can, and Dexter realizes that he cannot get this round going. But it's going to take every single player with him, which is going to build his confidence up. Nice try.
Indeed, a nice try, but the round was really won by Breeze early on. Those 3 kills were massive. There was a bit of a chance for Dexter there. Tarek knew where he was. He had spotted them jiggle peeking from the vent and got pot flash, trying to take the peek, but Flash didn't have the effect it hoped for, and it got a little bit dicey there in the end, but Evil Geniuses do pull it out nonetheless. They'll be able to go ahead and get those MAC 10s and the UMP, a couple of rifles as well. Force buy here from Grayhound, scouts, and several upgraded pistols. Worth noting that Evil Geniuses on Nuke against Strauss basically had their way with them on the T side. They went up like 8-1 or something crazy like that in the first half of that game. Looked really, really sharp on all fronts. So expect them to look sharp here as well. Good shot there from Tarek. A little bit weird. He almost got caught, but not quite.
So it's going to be a rough ask Nuke against EG. Hasn't started particularly well for Grayhound, although Dexter getting in amongst the frags. He is the first player to fall. Their force. Incendiary for Ins, looking to line that up for Hut if anyone shows their hand. Tarek, as you highlighted, nearly got plucked out, so he's down to 14 HP. And Stanislaw has been spotted. Malta's nade not really going to do anything in the process. He's now been put down with authority by Stanislaw's UMP. And T's are making inroads. Dick Stacy, though, again, this time with the 5-7. Landing shots. They're just going to be lining up for him. They're running in low HP to their demise. The sanity may start to fall again, though. Although Cirque is in a bit of a rough confrontation of his own. In's now going to take the initiative. Has an SG in his hands. Both players are low. They're not going to be able to stop the bomb plant just yet.
Yep. No kit, though, and Sicko has no armor, and both players are very low on HP, so there's still a very good chance for EG to go ahead and close this out, but Grayhound have at least made it interesting. Do they even want to go for it? It's kind of the question. Saving these 2 guns will be pretty huge into the next round, when normally they would have nothing. To even pick up a 5-7 and drop it to a teammate, have some 5-7s out there as well with the SIG and Scout. Just trying to retake, even though it's 2v2, it's tantalizing, just not having the kit's a really big problem. So they will just back off.
Exactly. I think it's certainly the correct decision, especially against Stanislaw and Cirque. You're not really expecting to get any kind of kill back on the site, an entry frag back onto the site, as it were. So yeah, save the SG and the Scout, drop the 5-7 to one of your teammates, and try and run with some firepower as opposed to nothing, as you highlighted. So let's see what Grayhound do with this. Pretty much what we said. They're not going to be forcing behind it, which is definitely the correct decision.
Well, they were able to drop over the 2 5-7s, right? So it's still kind of similar to being able to buy upgraded pistols, just no armor behind it. So still composes a minimal threat in this. Never know what that SIG and Scout might be able to accomplish. Scout can get a kill or be the assist master like that. He tags Tarek, that means the 5-7, or even the USP could actually still deal with Tarek pretty quickly if they come across him. So it does make things a little bit more difficult now on Evil Geniuses. But obviously they still do have a massive edge in a round like this. And their nuke has been so on point lately. Again, 6 wins in a row. Several at New York on the way to the title.
No, this has certainly been one of their most potent maps.
It's like this Dust 2 and... this and Dust 2 are definitely up there.
Angle from Dexter is going to yield a couple of stray bullets, but nothing that's really going to stick. And it's Dick Stacy with a 5-7. Said that a few times already today. The only player that has capitalized getting the drop onto Ethan. In's last player alive, and again, he's going to look to save the SG. So EG off to a cracking start. Pretty much what we were expecting, Dust. Nothing out of the ordinary here.
No, certainly not. They'll actually pass Cirque the MAC 10 because he had the higher amount of health to actually go hunting for this frag and try to farm some extra money with the MAC 10 as well as stop the SIG. Cirque is unfortunately searching kind of the wrong places right now, but he might eventually find himself in CT spawn with that MAC 10. I like how that's just like a little small attention to detail to be like, hey, you have like the most health and you have armor. Take this MAC 10, see if you can find this guy. Get a little bit more money. But unfortunately, Cirque will not indeed locate N, so we'll just move over 3-0.
Yeah, plus it's kind of a dual purpose as well. If he can get some kills with the Mac-10, it's just money in his back pocket for an AWP.
Yep.
And we'll keep him pretty satiated with the snipers, but he's going to pick up the SG instead, trade it with Ethan.
Yep.
CSGO does have an AWP on the CT side. Deciding to go into ramp, but it's going to be aggressive play. Evil Geniuses pressing down the pedal, not slowing up. Inns, though, with the SG, using it against the T's. Has been tagged up so heavily in main, but lives to tell the tale. The Molotov has failed, meaning that Heaven is now open for business from the CTs. And EG know it, so they're going to be forced to plant for main instead, which is the safer of the options. None of the CTs deciding to push through there. It was only Inns, and remember, he was tagged up heavily just before. Cirque dropping down from Silo. Going to be trying to rummage together a kill onto Inns, who is still just sitting in position, playing so patiently, so passively, and he's got 4 kills to his name as a result. He has taken this round away from EG. Tarek is going to try and battle until the bitter end. Won't be an ace for Inns, but it will be around for Grayhound.
Yeah, really well done. Despite the fact that EG really got the drop on them in that initial entry through Hut. Inns really played it nicely from Mini. Also picking up on the flank. I think that was Cirque who was trying to swing around from outside. Picked up on that as well. Really racked up the kills when he needed to most. It's a big victory for Grayhound. Big individual effort there from Inns, the newcomer to the team. In place of Aircast. Cirque will have the AWP into this round.
Sicko retains his AWP still, purchased and pivoting over on the ramp. Breeze was just playing a little bit with Sicko. There is a second player here if they decide to try and push aggressively, which is Dick Stacy. And now Sicko, after smoking, will be backing away.
Yeah, back hauls being taken right now by Stanislaw and Ethan. Tarek still kind of just holding out towards Mini. Cirque now joined them as well at the AWP. Dexter is the one man kind of defending all this right now with the SIG kind of in big garage. Depends on the timing here on what he might be able to find. Cirque as well. Breeze still just kind of holding things out over towards the lockers. Still no real push from EG as well. They're kind of just holding position other than getting deeper and deeper towards these back hauls.
I may be feeling pressured and compelled to go for some information play, but it's completely backfired. Not much time left, though, at EG's disposal. Going to be flashing into main. Trying to clear this out. Malta, perched at the back of the site up on the catwalk, is trying to spin across and land as many shots as possible. Sicko just runs straight out onto the catwalk, and Inns, who is trying to play possum and bait his teammates for some kills, is spotted behind vents. Evil Geniuses, they cut it close, but they get the plant and should be the round to follow. Dick Stacy in a 1-on-4. Looking like he's looking for some exit frags and not much more than that.
Yeah, great round from EG. They just controlled so much. Like, Breezy was always maintaining presence towards ramp. You had the back halls control from Stanislaw and Ethan. You had the push into Mini as well. They just really had all their bases covered. Just good, nice, slow, steady map control style of play. Again, one of the various modes that EG are able to put to use. You'll see later. Or actually, kind of, you already saw it. Like, they're that fast upper push. They can throw in those little quick picks as well. Breezy's like such a luxury player for them because he used to be very much an entry fragger, and he still can be on certain executes, but I feel a lot of the time now they kind of trust him to be kind of that solo player in a lot of different positions where he'll just kind of hold things by himself or, you know, create pressure individually just to keep people in place, and he's still able to produce a high volume of frags in that role despite it not being kind of the natural one he played for such a long time as an entry with BAPS. It's really kind of made room for Tarek to get back into entry-type position. Stanislaw wants to obviously be an in-game leader that's in the main control group. And so the way they've been able to balance it all out has been really nice.
Dexter outside can hear a bunch of T's all around and the pitter-patter of footsteps. Impending doom. Sicko 1D. Police return fire for the 1 kill. Could be more if Ethan overstays his welcome and peeks one too many times, but could very much be the arbiter of Grayhound's demise. Inns downstairs in secret, joined alongside Dick Stacy, his other comrade who is still alive and kicking, towards Hell Lockers. But EG doing a very good job. As I say that, actually, Inns has caught Tarek ahead of the rest of his team. It's a good flashbang. It's going to stall them. They're going to be peeking in one by one. This is going to get so dangerous. Ins with the spray. Gets two in quick succession. And this round goes from a formality to back up in the air. How has this happened? How has this come to fruition? Cirque's still the favorite to win this round, especially considering he's made the correct decision of going down to B. DreamHack's going to have to make a bunch of noise. Does have an AWP, though. Although no Kevlar behind it. No kit either. So does he want to scurry in there? Throw caution to the wind. As he looks to try and play the time, he's seen Cirque. The Cirque relays go, oh no! They've actually done it! Grayhound have clutched the round out. This is ridiculous. Ins, take a bow. You have just got your team this round somehow.
The new kid on the block pulls out a fast one there. Yeah, EG kind of gave it to him a bit with their spacing through mini. Gave him a real good shot at the lineups in the multi-kill spray down, but he still had to be the one to pull the trigger the right way, and he did. Also, DreamHack, nice little clutch there. He faked kind of with the fly set at first, didn't want Cirque to know he had the AWP. Then he pulls it out once Cirque is committed to the fight. So that was a nice little attention to detail as well from him. And so Gray One do steal it. Get around it earlier than expected, 2-4. EG, though, still firmly out in front. Now they're going to pick up the pace.
Yeah, they are wanting to stamp their authority again. Yes, you got that round, but it really should have been ours. They do get the opening pick, but they decide not to fully commit behind it. That being said, look at Ethan. He's already downstairs in secret. He's towards the control room. This is going to keep Grayhound interested on keeping some players on the B side. He can also act as a pivot point for the rest of EG once they push down ramp.
Yep. Dan putting the smoke down over towards Hell. Keep your position. Malta's still holding forward, though, on the slope. This could be tricky. Oh, he spots Cirque's head, takes him out. It's the spam as well through onto Stanislaw. That's massive. Ethan, though, reels it right back in.
That spray control from Ethan was sick. Just spins around, lands 2 headshots. And now Dexter is going to try and stop the rot. He finds Breeze. There's a small gap in the smoke, though. Ethan, who's already put up 2 sick kills, is looking to double up. 40 seconds to play with. I don't think Dexter realized that the bomb was on ramp.
Maybe not. That or he just wants to get a really safe position since he has low HP to really cover Heaven as well as an outside wrap. Ethan starting to run low on the clock. He is going to go ahead and approach Heaven. Dexter, I mean, it could come down to timing. What if Ethan slowly creeps up the ladder and Dexter's not aware of it and Ethan gets a kill? But would Ethan check it? That's the other big question. No, he makes the noise. He comes up. Dexter's going to get the freebie. That's going to be a 3rd round from Grayhound. Keeping it close here. Nice job here from the Aussies.
I'll give them credit. It was looking like it's going to be a sketchy CT side when it was 4-1, looking like it was heading to 5-1, but here we are.
Yeah. Pistols only here for EG. Cirque with the Tech 9. Don't see that too often.
Tech 9 definitely seems to have gone out of favor in replacement of the CZs. It's going to be a massacre. Malta joined by Dexter and Ins lay waste to EG's push, which has yielded absolutely nothing.
No AWP for Cirque, but no problem. He's definitely one of those oppers that can be very good with rifles, and his really JW-esque aggressive play style definitely can still suit him nicely when he has a rifle in his hands.
Ooh, well, Dexter is going to take the fight. He's going to take the initial play up close, and 2 kills go his way. Ethan's the only T that's really answered back and done anything. It's a bloodbath, a real skirmish outside. Now they know everybody is currently here. They can rotate round the back and get the flank into effect. Ethan wasn't far off that 1-tap onto DreamHack. He needs to be careful he doesn't overstay his welcome or overextend. This is still winnable for Ethan. Ins, though, perched up on the silo. Once that smoke clears, Ethan should be a dead man. His barrel is protruding around the corner. Ins just has to watch the angle. Does he even bother to try go for the wall bang? Yes, he does. There's the headshot.
Really nice play there from Grayhound. They've been really good at some of this aggressive stuff there. It's just Dexter kind of getting around a smoke and getting up close. They also had to push through lobby at the exact same time, so they kind of just pinched Evil Geniuses in towards that outside area. Forced Ethan into a really tough 1 versus 3 situation in the end. Stanislaw calling a tactical timeout. Maybe just trying to get his grips on what he wants to do next here. Obviously, this round you can't really buy up too much. It's going to be upgraded pistols at most. It's really the next round where you're going to be able to get the full buyback. Grayhound has won the last 5 of 6 rounds. It was the 3-0 start from Evil Geniuses, but ever since, Grayhound's been really getting into a good groove. Some of it has been these crazy hero individual plays from ends, to be fair. Like, it feels like EG has kind of fumbled a few times where they had a big advantage and they just couldn't close out. I think one of them was like a 4-on-2 when DreamHack won the 1v1 against Cirque in the lower bomb sites, and there was one other round like that where ends had a big multi-frag round. So it feels like that's really been the thorn in Evil Geniuses' side, just kind of cleaning up what they started.
That's definitely a fair point. I mean, take nothing away from Grayhound, but EG definitely have made some blunders. There's no two ways about it. Whether Grayhound can make the most of these slip-ups is yet to be seen. Flashbang outside. Breeze has been spotted and tagged, but not killed. He'll be able to retreat in time to stop that grenade from claiming his life. Dexter close range, takes 50 damage, but does return fire to Tarek and outright kills them. Flick from Sicko. Good work. He had some big performances at the minor as well. He was actually very impressive to me watching him. So I know he can put this AWP to use. Stanislaw rotating outside into Garage. May get the drop on Dexter. But it does feel like a drop in the bucket, especially as Inns is instantly gone back in. Breeze one deeging Inns, but he's the last player on 20 HP and he's not on for this world.
No, not at all. Dick Stacy, the meme himself, is going to be able to finish things off. So 6-4 is the scoreline, but back to buying is going to be EG. Again, they've had a lot of good openings to rounds. Other than that one round where Grayhound did the double push outer and lobby, has it really been like a dominant start to a round from Grayhound? It's really just been the mid-round situation that EG has struggled in, and Grayhound is really turned up in a big, big way. SIGs for everyone except for Tarek going into this round. Same kind of default opening. Tarek always usually going outside. Sanazal usually a big part of that as well. Breezy just holding lockers and lobby as he would normally do, so not too much has changed here from EG on their opening formation.
Lining up the molly and flashbang onto red container in case anybody's hiding behind that pesky box. No one is. It's more passive from Grayhound outside. They actually have Dexter, who is way back at the right side of Garage from the T's perspective, and he's not budging an inch. He's going to get flashbanged, but again, it's more about information play than really having a direct impact. Sicko's going aggressively. Is this going to backfire? No. Flicks to Breeze. The opening pick going the way the CTs has been counteracted instantly, though. Tarek does get aforementioned Dexter, and Garage control has been lost.
Good kill back there from Tarek to at least keep it a 4-on-4. That was a nice play from Sicko. Not going to be expected from Breezy at all to see an op in that position. We do see Evil Geniuses now looking to clamp down this outer bomb slide through Mini and Squeaky Door. It seems Ethan trying to jump down through the smoke. Ends just trying to spot from inside the side. He does have Malta as well for support. Can they crossfire their way out of what should be a very dangerous upper push here from Evil Geniuses?
25 seconds, though. Malta completely caught in no man's land. Had no backup. Ins again. He's pulled off some big plays. This a little bit too far for him to handle. Dick Stacy only needed really one more bullet to finalize onto Tarek, but misses out, and EG win their first round in 5.
Yeah, I don't know what the timing was. They had a guy inside the site kind of jump spotting, like over the top of the silos to see if anyone was coming through Mini or Squeaky. I guess he just missed the timing because the guy who came Squeaky just slipped right by and got the free kill on the guy up close on Hut. And then Ends was only good for 1 inside the site from that point forward. So really good job by EG to kind of wedge their way into upper and just kind of slowly pry it open to get themselves a 6-5. We'll see how Grayhound responds. Again, some outside forward presence here from Grayhound this start, but they've been forced back. Oh my goodness.
Oh, he was flashbanged. Insult to injury, a 3K for Dexter. Won't be getting a 4th. Stanislaw gets flashed up, but still staying alive. But for how much longer? Sicko drills him. Kills him where he stands. And our Cirque with the SG is being flanked and fragged by Dick Stacy. So again, the win streak comes to an abrupt end, only lasting the 1 round. Grayhound in the driver's seat.
Yeah, ever since the 3-0 start from EG, it has been Grayhound really rallying up the scoreboard. Again, we've had a lot of close rounds where EG look like they should win, but now it's starting to get more and more dominant from Grayhound as each round passes. They've really started to, in these last few round wins, get it so more decisively. EG having to go with the double Mac 10 and 3 SIGs. It seems like they would want to go for something faster pace because of the Mac 10s. And they are indeed going very quickly down into back halls. They've never gone back halls this fast before. This is definitely a little bit different from them.
They've had Ethan play down here one time, but he was by himself while the rest of the team went ramp.
Yep.
So this could catch Grayhound off guard. They have smoke downstairs. It's going to give them an early warning system. An idea as to what's coming up. But they also have two players moving through the ramp side as well. Sicko is up to the task, the flip, but not the actual kill outright. So it needed Dick Stacy to help him out. They do get the 2-for-1 trade though. But now EG are pushing the pressure downstairs. Dexter is going to be the last man to rotate down ramp. They're actually going to take the fight to these CTs on the ramp. They think they're going to be stuck around the ramp side itself, but they're not. They're still perched up, waiting, anticipating the push, and they walk into the trap. So they're going to have multiple assailants, flashbang, but still yields the kill onto Malta. He's going to have two separate angles of aggression now to thwart. There's the first one, turning around, trying to play the anti-flash. Cirque is landing nothing but headshots, but it's down to Inns against Stanislaw, and Stanislaw is going to pounce with his SG. The way Inns has been playing, you wouldn't write him off, but Evil Geniuses do claim another one.
That is crazy how they won it too, man. Grayhound did so well holding ramp to stop the lower split from being as effective as it could be. But EG find a way to win that anyway. It's off of Cirque playing up close on ramp, having two different doorways to worry about. Stanislaw can only offer limited assistance because he has to worry about, you know, two different doorways and a window. Yet somehow they funnel it the right way and they get the victory. That's amazing from Cirque. Now they're going to go for a fast ramp push. Dick Stacy only good for one. Actually, two. The Fire catches another on his way out. Good trade for Grayhound.
It stalled the rest of the team from pushing as well, so they can't even get ramp control as fast as they would have liked to. And with all of that delay, they still haven't pushed in. They're waiting. This has allowed the CTs to get into more favorable positions. They have given up ramp control, but they have the player advantage.
Indeed, they do. Now, one of them is on an SMG and one's on a Scout, and they don't have any utility really, and they don't have a kit in play. So all those things do kind of help EG a bit, despite the fact they're a man down and Ethan's halfway past health. As Ethan is just kind of slowly looking towards this lower bomb site to see if he can get some room for his team. There is one player down here. That's going to be Dexter, kind of on the window side with the SMG.
Oh no, they whiffed the smoke as well. Breathed through it against his teammate's back, so it actually stops them from cordoning off double doors, but Ethan still claims the kill. However, EG post-plant a player behind, and the CTs are swarming from multiple angles. Malta just down in vents. In's making a move through on Squeaky, on Decon. They did have Malta up, but he's been put down by Breeze. HP favoring the T's now. Oh, Breeze and Ethan just spin around and both claim kills in a heartbeat. EG again with a clutch on the B site.
And again, it's from a man disadvantage situation, so it feels like the CS gods are kind of shining down upon them now. So many rounds that they lost despite having a big edge, they're now being gifted back with rounds like that, as they've now tied it back up. 1 round left to go in the half, and Grayhound's money is pretty terrible. It's in the bin, Vince. Like, they've had some pistols and a couple of MP9s, but it's certainly far from ideal. Meanwhile, EG pretty much have all they could want. The CT aggression up close, but Tarek is spotting it. He knows what's up. He's been able to fall back and not give one away. But a lot of damage has been taken from utility.
It certainly has, and this puts them into range of the MP9s and these 5.7s. And remember, that In's hero play on main was off the back of a very similar buy to this. So they have already broken the hearts of EG once before in this half. EG can't take anything for granted.
No, certainly not. This has gotten a little bit dire despite the firepower advantage that EG has, thanks to all that damage that's been done to Tarek and Stanislaw in particular. Dexter spots one crossing with the Deagle. Sicko and Dexter combined for 2. That's massive.
Side push has been subdued momentarily. EG have got to try and rummage together a master plan. There's a headshot at range on top of the silo on a weakened Tarek. Oh no, one of the worst buys that EG offended off against, and it could very well be going the way of Greyhound. Breeze 1v4. Doesn't have control of the bomb, has time to play with. And an SG on top of it. Some smokes have been deployed. Small gap or small hole in the door will afford him a chance to push up, but Sicko sees his feet protruding through the hole, and somehow, someway, Grayhound not only get the round, but also have an 8-7 lead. We'll try and find out after the break if EG can pull this back, or if we're going to have our second consecutive upset after this very short commercial break.
It's always been there, it's in the back of your mind. It's always been there, it's in the top shelf in the back room. It's always been there, it's in the happy place where you run free. It's always been there, it always will be there for you. Let the world in, open up your arms. Let the world in, let the world It's always been there, it's in the same place you left it. It's always been there, it's in your dreams and it's in your heart. It's always been there, but only you could set it free.
The Evil Geniuses, hot off their victory in ESL New York, now find themselves around behind on Nuke, one of their best maps, against Grayhounds. Now they're moving on to the CT side, though, Dust. You would say that it should favor them still. I'm not going to get carried away, but Grayhound have really put up a fantastic performance so far.
Still, though, 7 rounds on your T side, not shabby, especially with this skill level lineup on the CT side. They're going to be able to really wreak havoc, you'd imagine. But we'll see what Grayhound up with their sleeve. But the pistol is commencing here. We do see Dexter lining up a smoke over towards Heaven, I believe that is. But they're actually going to be pushing towards outside, maybe into Mini, or they could be going back halls. Not really sure just yet.
Seems Secret is the way forward on the T side. Still have a smoke and a flashbang to utilize once they do get down here, but there are going to be CTs up close and personal in the form of Tarek. It was a labored fight, but Dick Stacy is going to get the upper hand. Dexter's waiting for the rotation, finds Ethan. Great start for the terrorists. It's looking good. Bomb's going to get planted in amongst the smoke. At least it should do. You're going to hear bullets whizzing past Dick Stacy's head from the top of ramp side. 2 players there, Cirque and Stanislaw. They are waiting for Breeze to make his presence known, but there's going to be nobody for him to play off because he's had his head taken clean off his shoulders. And Stanislaw now, 1 on 5, has been spotted and surely is going to go down. Not a single player from Grayhound fell in the second pistol. They're in really good shape now.
Yeah, I really like that pistol round. They did a really good job, obviously, of being able to get back halls into lower, but Dexter actually threw a Molotov that was by Squeaky Door and the vent, so that way he knew that no CTs could rotate to lower without taking fire damage or without him being able to spot it and perhaps get the kill. And then obviously they had that smoke for the bomb plant and lower as well. So definitely a great little combination of utility uses there from Grayhound and just good fragging across the board, catching Tarek in awkward space to kick things off and just rolling that into a victory. Evil Geniuses are going to force up, though. SMG, a Scout, and upgraded pistols in play. Everyone armored except for Cirque.
Lack of armor as a result of purchasing the Scout. Only $350 remain. Hefty investment. If Grayhound can Managed to shatter this force spike. Be 10 rounds already on ecoed up evil geniuses, and the pressure will start to mount. They know they're in touching distance of making this a really difficult encounter. Stacking downstairs again, though. This is where the pistols at this kind of range are going to be very scary, plus the MP9.
That's some wild games so far on the B stream today. The only one that was like clear cut was Vitality Tyler. Every other game's been pretty wild and unexpected. Especially that Optic Liquid game. EG obviously don't want to follow suit to their North American compadres. They want to be able to kind of keep working towards that #1 status, and